Okay, my Young and the Restless fans, we got another episode to talk about. Daniel gets an unexpected visitor. Victoria worries about Johnny spending time with Chelsea and Adam. And Sally has very unusual stomach issues. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for December 22nd. And without any further ado, let's talk about what went down in Genoa City today. So we start out over at Chancellor Park where we see Sally and Nick sitting on a park bench. Now, after discussing Nick's famous eggnog recipe, he tells her all about Christian's doubts about Santa. Now, he had to tell his son, it's just magic. Sometimes you just have to believe in the magic in life. They talk about Faith spending her first holiday away, and he says the success of parenting is not having them around. He also says if you're lucky, they come back for a little while, and I know that. Now, she notes the vast age range between his children and says that make him very versatile. Now, he thinks all his kids are an incredible gift. She's never seen, however, a parent who loves being a parent up close before. Now, Nick needs her to explain that, so she tells him about her childhood. So she explains that as a child of carnies who traveled from one town to the next, she didn't attend school or have any friends. And she and her sister Coco would watch the other kids and wonder what their lives were like. They shoveled up behind the elephants, slept in tents instead of dreaming of sugar plums. And a Christmas miracle would be not having a clown pass out in their bunk. Now, their parents were always getting into trouble, and then one day, they just took off. Now, it was a long time ago, and she said, well, I made peace with it. That's where her perspective on parenthood actually comes from. And Nick is sorry she had to go through all of that. And Sally assures him that she grew up with love and went to live with her Grams, who is generous but rough around the edges. Plus, she had her namesake, Great Aunt Sally Spectra. And she said it was kind of a blessing not to have money because it made her a scrapper. Growing up in a household that was all female made her never think that there was anything a woman couldn't do. Now she changes the topic to Christmas presents, what's appropriate, and there should be severe limitations. Now they both feel good about their gift choices. It's beginning to snow. Nick is amazed. Nick then tells her choosing to believe in the magic, and they kiss. However, moments later, she has a stomach trouble and blames the coffee.
Yeah, spending time with you is always good. Ooh.
You okay? What's wrong?
I'm not sure, but no more coffee for me. It's definitely not agreeing with me.
You want to get out of here?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll throw these away.
And of course, we all know as fans where this is going because of course Sally has been both with Adam and Nick in the past month or so. So is this going to be a new who's the baby daddy type of situation? So over at Chelsea's place, we see Billy and Johnny show up and they hand off their gifts and she placed the one she got Johnny in his hands. And of course, Billy is beaming. Connor comes out and the two kids run off, and then Adam shows up and says that they look like the very picture of Christmas spirit. Now, Chelsea explains to Billy that they plan to have dinner together. Adam doesn't want to interrupt anything, but Billy claims it's all good. Now, when the kids return, Connor asks if Johnny can come to eat with them. Now, Chelsea suggests that Billy comes too, but he passes on that. However, Johnny still wants to go so they can talk about video games. Billy allows it, and Chelsea thanks the two men for being agreeable. However, when Billy goes downstairs to Crimson Lights, Victoria is annoyed when he tells her that Johnny is still with Chelsea. Now, she is not happy, and when he admits especially that he left their son with not only Johnny and Chelsea, but Adam too, and she thinks that all this is just too much. And he reminds her that they're going to a public restaurant, and they need to accept that Adam and Chelsea are also part of Johnny's family. Now, Victoria reminds him that he is their son and his biological child, being that he's the father, and this is something for her to adjust to. Now, her son has another mom, and she's worried that the lines are going to get blurred. Now, he hopes that their son just thinks Chelsea is part of the extended family. Billy is not a fan of Adam, but he is still cordial to him. And he goes on about all of the amazing strides Chelsea has made, and he's sure that this will be good for her and their son, and she needs to see this for herself. So then Chelsea and Adam take the boys to society. They get a table and talk about how cilantro tastes like soap. And as they sit and eat, Victoria and Billy now arrive, and she is staring, and he tells her, look, it's all good. Now, Chelsea motions them over and invites them to have a seat. Billy says it's starting to feel like Christmas, and he and Chelsea smile. So now over at the Abbotts, we see Summer welcoming Daniel as he arrived with gifts. Now Kyle apologizes for not seeing him since he got back to town. And they talk about how well Daniel is settling in with his big project for Chancellor Winters. And they're amazed that he is heading up a new gaming division. Now after they tell him that they're going on this so-called surprise trip with Harrison, Kyle leaves to check on his son. Now, Summer asks Daniel if he wants to tell her about all the tension with Lucy and Heather. He says, now is not the time for that conversation. And he's confident that things are going to work out with his new project, which will change his whole life. And Summer is thrilled that he found a new outlet. Now, Kyle returns to say that they can leave once Harrison finishes his cartoon. Daniel gives his sister a hug, wishes them happy holidays, and then he takes off. And then Kyle and Summer drive Harrison out to the cabin. When they enter it, Dee Dee is nowhere to be found. However, before they can call Jack, Diane returns and tells them that she was out looking at the snow and taking a walk. And Dee Dee tells them that this is just the best surprise ever, and there are lots and lots of hugs. Diane hugs Kyle as he talks about how Jack always brings everyone together for the holidays. Summer agrees that they're lucky to have such great families, both the Newmans and the Abbotts. Now, Diane knows that she has a complicated relationship with both of those families, and she's grateful to be doing this with them. Now, Kyle helps Harrison put the star on the tree. Diane says that this is everything that she could have ever dreamed of for so many years. Now, speaking of Jack and Jeremy Stark return to his suite. Now, Jack says that Diane has clearly developed some disappearing skills, which means he took him on a wild goose chase. Now, Jeremy would hate to think that Jack was misleading him, taking him on a wild goose chase. Now, Jack says that it's not his fault that she's gone. He just wants his life back and is sick and tired of being sick and tired of dealing with her lies. He repeats his offer to cover her debts and even offers to double it to $1 million if he dropped this and stopped wasting his time on Diane. And then Jeremy opens Jack's briefcase, looking at that money, and it's looking real good to him. And then Jeremy agrees to take Jack's offer. And Jack promises that the rest of the cash is going to be there the day after Christmas. Now, telling Stark he's sure that he wouldn't want to also risk going back to prison, he leaves. And Stark smirks to himself. I'm wondering if he got anything else up his sleeve. And of course, with one being the loneliest number, Daniel goes to Crimson Lights and think about his conversation with his sister. Daniel then heads back to his suite. He gets a drink from the minibar. There then is a knock at the door, and this happens.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, son.
So, yes, his dad Danny shows up and he had a weird expression on his face. I don't know if he was excited to see his dad, shocked, or concerned. And then my question is, what is Phyllis going to say? Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. If you haven't checked out the Bold and the Beautiful recap, it has been already uploaded to the channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.